gentlemen, if I could have your attention. So we are going to get started. Thank you for coming out tonight and supporting the music and the performers who come here with their craft and artistry. I'm very happy to be able to present the artwork that's on our walls. It's an exhibition by Faith Ringgold, who was a New York City school teacher who moved to Englewood. She experienced racism and she tried to open up a studio in her backyard. And instead of...
She's very famous.
Yeah, she channeled that energy into doing artwork, and then she became super famous. Perhaps one of the most famous artists that we've had the pleasure of exhibiting in this space, and she still lives in Englewood. And so please enjoy this artwork, and there's a larger accompanying exhibit over at Bergen Community College. There's a gallery there called Gallery Bergen. They actually have some original pieces that we couldn't have because of insurance purposes, but please go there. Yes. And so tonight I'm very happy. Hiroya is up here already, so let me just move out of the way. One thing that impresses me about Hiroya is this is the third time that he's come to the Puffin, and I've been following him through his emails and his website. There is a journey to what he does. There's a musical interpretation of the experiences that he goes through as he tours across the United States performing his music and his own compositions. And it is undeniable. You really get a sense of that in his performance. And so without any further ado, please put your hands together and welcome Hiroya Tsukamoto.
Thank you. Happy to be back to Teaneck, New Jersey after 5 years. I think last time I played here was 2018, so it's great to be back. Thank you. Time goes by so fast. And what I do is a mixture of mostly original music and some stories behind them, so I hope you're gonna have a good time. First piece was the first track of my new album, entitled As If It Were Yesterday. And I traveled a lot to different places to perform shows, so I compose a lot of compositions in different locations, including this next piece I'm going to play. And I wrote this piece in the mountain in Utah several years ago. And I had some shows in Utah, but after finishing all the shows, me and my wife decided to take 2 days off to explore Utah. And we ended up renting a Jeep. But I was too scared to drive a Jeep, so I asked my wife to drive. And we went through lots of steep canyons, which was pretty scary, and it was almost like diving into the sky kind of place. And we drove about a couple hours, and after that we got to this beautiful natural stone bridge with huge red rocks. And we stayed there for a while, and I had my guitar in the Jeep, so I picked up the guitar and started playing the natural bridge. And after a while, this little piece came about. So I named this piece as the name of the place. And this one is called Gemini Bridge. is another piece from the new album entitled How Time Like Water Flows. Now I'd like to share one of the Japanese folk songs with you, and this song is coming from a southern part of Japan, Okinawa. You know Okinawa, right? And as you know, Okinawa was a part of the United States territory from 1960s till 70s. But also, Okinawa was an even different country before Japan for a long time. And it has a sad story. Basically, Japan took over Okinawa even though they had totally different culture, including traditional folk music. And this is one of the folk songs, very old folk song from Kingdom era, when Okinawa was a kingdom. And this song talks about the woman when she was a beautiful woman at that time. So she got an offer from the king back then to get married. But she didn't want to get married with him. So what she did was denying the proposal she got from the king. But she survived, and she became heroine, and this song came about. And I'll be singing this song in Okinawa local dialect, which I don't even understand much. But you are welcome to sing along if you want to. 佐渡屋の小屋によさゆいゆいアンチュラサリバシよちんだらかの島よさあ目指ししゅぬあらんまよさゆいゆいたるやねつむたよちんだらかの島よはいやいやささまたアンチュラサリバシよパリのちんだらかの島よさあ佐渡屋の小屋にはいやいやささアンチュラサリバシよパリのちんだらかの島Thank you for listening. I'm going to do a warm-up piece and I take a short intermission, about 10 minutes. And if you like my music, again, I brought my new album, which came out 2 months ago, entitled Little River Canyon, which is the name of a place in northern Alabama. It's a beautiful mountains where I recorded this album, and it's all original acoustic guitar music, and it'd be great if you check it out. It's on the table over there. In southwest of Colorado State, there's a little town called Cortez, which is near Mesa Verde National Park. It's kind of like the small town in the middle of nowhere, but it's a beautiful place. But I've been there several times in the past in my life. And the first time I was there almost 12 years ago, and I had some shows in Colorado, but me and my wife were planning this trip. And we were searching for a place to stay around Cortez. And we found this place called a Flag Meadow Ranch. It's a bed and breakfast owned by this guy. His name is Harris Court. And for our first trip, we had a great time, and Harris was just a beautiful human. And since we had a great time for our first trip, 2 years later, I brought my parents from Japan because they had been to the United States, but only big cities such as New York and Los Angeles. And they had never been to the mid part of the United States, so I wanted to show them the big landscape of America. So they flew over from Japan, and 4 of us stayed there. And again, we had a great time. And for that trip, I talked more with this guy, Harris. And I found out that he was married with a Navajo woman, and he used to live in Navajo community for many years as only non-Navajo person. And he said to me, it was very interesting to live there because I was only non-Navajo there in the community. And I was looking at America from different views, but I was still in the United States. And after his wife died, he got out from the community, and he started this bed and breakfast in Cortez. And 2 years ago, during the pandemic time, I was talking to my wife, where should we go if this thing is over? And she said, I want to visit Harris again. And we were wondering how he was doing. But we couldn't find any information, no website, no Facebook page. And we kept searching. And we found out that Harris passed away 3 years ago. And this place was sold to another couple who were supposed to take over this place, but they didn't do it. So this place is permanently closed. And as I heard the news, I was just regret that I didn't reach out to him when he was alive. It was just too late. And I was thinking about this place and this guy, Harris, and I composed this piece last year. This is called Wide Clear Sky. Thank you.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to have a quick intermission, so please use this time to go to the restrooms. We'll have water in there, and then you can also purchase CDs in the front area, and then we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, thank you. Hey, Christian, can you kill the stage lights?
want to hear some more music? A couple of people asked me during the intermission what I'm doing with a lot of layering things, so I want to explain a little bit. So I have a tool called a loop pedal on the floor, which is connected to my vocal mic and the guitar cable. So what I'm doing is a real-time live recording to create multiple layers with the voice and the guitar. So it's not a pre-recorded or it's not a karaoke, it's a real-time. Okay, during the pandemic time, last 2 or 3 years, I composed a lot of new music because all the shows got cancelled. And when pandemic started in March 2020, 3 years ago actually, as you know, it affected everybody's everyday's life, and including performers like me, because before that, I had been traveling every week to different places, and suddenly shut down. And from mid-March, I had to stay in my apartment in New York City with the 2 little kids, which was great, but it was pretty tough. And musically speaking, in the beginning, I just didn't know what to do. But I received a lot of messages, emails from people around the country where I performed in the past. Some encouraging messages, something like, I want to hear your new music, write something new. So I decided to be a little more productive during the time. And this next piece I'm going to play was the first piece that I composed. I composed this one in April 2020, and this is entitled No Matter How Far. gathering in North Carolina, in western part of North Carolina, near Asheville. It's a beautiful area near Great Smoky Mountain National Park. And the gathering was called a Suananoa Gathering because it was in a small town called Suananoa, which is about 20 minutes from Asheville. And it's basically music camp for adults. It's a very nice music community. And I taught 3 classes for the guitar week. And the same week, there was another one called Contemporary Folk Week, which was designed for singer-songwriters. And between my classes I was teaching, I had some free time, so I ended up taking one of the songwriting classes, which is pretty inspiring. And in the class, the vocal songwriting teacher assigned students to write a song. And she said to us, I'm going to give you guys for 15 minutes and try to write a song and come back. Pretty challenging, right? And I went out from the building and I was walking through the woods. It was a beautiful location and looking at the trees, sky, and I was hoping that something was coming. But nothing came. But in the last minutes, eventually, this simple melody, just 4 lines melody, came about with the Japanese poetry. And after coming back to the class, I shared this little fragment with the other teachers and other students. Same week, there was a morning meditation at 6:30 a.m. And I started going there on my second day on Tuesday morning. I saw some of my students were there, and I also saw some instructors for performers. And as I was observing people, people were not so friendly each other yet because that was their second day meeting each other. But they started to be more open and open as day goes by. And one of the reasons is this Buddhist monk who was leading this meditation. Because he was a very open-minded person, and he basically shared everything about himself. Good things, bad things, everything. And people started to share different things about their lives. And there were some happy topics, but also there were some serious and heavy topics, or I could say problems they had. And we listened to each other's stories, and this monk was answering his idea to solve those problems. And at the end of the week, we became friends, each other. And one thing I realized there was that we have individual every day, and we have brightness and happiness inside of us, but also we have a darkness and sadness at the same time. But sometimes it's hard to see because we don't share everything, and sometimes we don't want to share those things to others. And also sometimes we pretend. But as I was listening to their talking, because they look very happy people, but as I heard their talking, I thought, everybody goes through difficult times and happy times and go through different things in life. And we're just the same human being. And while I was meditating there, I came up with another new part and combined these 2 parts together from the week in Suananoa, North Carolina. And I composed this piece. This is called Morning Tide Will Bring Another Day. Umi no meru あなたのそばにいるために生きてゆくのはつらいそれを言わないだけ僕もあなたと同じまた朝が来たねYou built us a house up on a hill. There's an ocean view from every room. All along, you sit there and gaze, hoping that memory fades. I also built a house up on the hill. There's a sound of water in the air. All the pain that you have endured washes out beyond the shore. Pain is but a part of every life. But these are the words I cannot bear to say. We are just drops of water in the sea. Morning tide will bring another day. I guess I'm gonna do a couple more songs for you tonight. That was another original piece called From Coast to Coast. And thank you very much for coming on again. I'm going to do one more piece for tonight for you guys. And besides the CDs, I have a mailing list. If you sign up emails, I'm going to send you a monthly newsletters from different places to go. So you're going to know when I'm coming back to New Jersey again. And also, as long as you can spell my name, I have some social medias too. Instagram, Facebook page. About 20 minutes north from New Haven, Connecticut. There's a town called Hamden. And there are two mountains there. One has a round shape. Next to the round one, there's a longer one. And these two mountains are connected. And people call it Sleeping Giant. Next to Sleeping Giant, there's a university, Quinnipiac University. And one of the professors there, his name is Luis. Luis is originally from Argentina, but we became friends because he kept coming to my shows whenever I play around New Haven. And a couple of years ago, right before the pandemic, I was playing in New Hampshire and Vermont, and on my way back home to New York, Luis called me up and he said, if you have time, why don't you stop by? So I decided to stop by Hamden where he lives, and me and him did a trail walking through this mountain. And it was a cold winter day, but it was a beautiful experience for me. After I got home, about a week later, I got a package from him. When I opened the package, there were 4 thick books about Sleeping Giant. He included a little letter saying that I'm personally attached to these mountains, but also this is an important place for the university too. So I want you to compose a piece about Sleeping Giant. But before doing that, you gotta study about this place. It was pretty difficult to read, but I tried my best. And I learned that this place was originally a sacred place of the native people living there back then. Their name is Habermas people, so I named this piece as Habermas. Hey